Hi guys, welcome to today's video. In today's video, we'll look into a scenario in which the Indian Ocean disappears. And how will it be divided? Right here's India. And India's the first one to make a move without asking anyone they do, but also if they end up in a war, they're the strongest military. Well, then again, if you think of it, chances are, look, if the ocean sank, this would be a valley, right? And there'd probably be a bunch of dams. It doesn't make sense how I have. But let's just say that somehow happened. The land rose. I guess West Africa might be in trouble, but yeah. But let's look at India, who is inhospitable, probably, has 2 billion people, and now has no water. I guess Tibet has no water, too. So yeah. Well, I'm not infringing on Sri Lanka, because they can. With India seeing this as a great opportunity for expansion, not a great opportunity for human cost, but yeah. And everybody is about to figure out ways to either divide or conquer the world, this new water level shrink. With India being seen as the first one to expand, many of the smaller strong nations, such as Australia and Indonesia, why am I calling them smaller powers? Because they're not as strong, not because they're smaller. Some people are saying, oh, we should just take our sea territory. But other nations are saying, wait a minute, no. Finders keepers, basically. With East Timor, Indonesia, and Australia agreeing on one partition, but in other hands, that's only in one area. And this is to the area which Australia expands for now. Most likely they'll expand much further. But this is how East Timor gets to expand. Indonesia takes a big chunk. Also, keep in mind this is over the partition area. Indian Ocean is technically a lawless land. Imagine all the shipwrecks that would be found if this happened. Just imagine. I hope none of you are on boats, because that might be bad if you are. And I guess, well, really, the biggest effect of this would probably be ecological and would have a big human cost. You know why? Because temperatures, think of it. If you're further away from the water, your temperatures are more unstable. But let's look at the middle and the lower you are. So yeah, inhospitable. But Pakistan and India can't come to an agreement. And they end up solving it the old-fashioned way. The dispute basically came over, and you're going to see how dumb this was in a minute. The dispute came over India wanting too much. So, with Pakistan declaring war on India, the fighting's mostly going to take place in here. You want to know how this land is split? India took a big chunk out of it. But basically, this war is not about power, but about who gets what. It's kind of crazy to think this war would have, like, no reason. I guess this technically could be classified as a water war if the water shrank. And now the northern half is controlled by Pakistan. With the fighting mainly taking place, with Pakistan being the one to declare war, they have the upper hand for the first few minutes. And yeah. India turns tides of the war, and they're eventually going to probably meet somewhere. Telling Pakistan, basically, this war isn't funny. But nobody's fighting on their land. The fights are over this water, because that's what the war is. And Pakistan decides just to give up and compromises. One over the Persian Sea and the other over the Gulf of Aden. No, the Red Sea, I mean. What am I talking about? But yeah. And this is where it's going to take place. Everyone should get at least a tiny bit of territory. Iran and Saudi will probably get the most. But yeah, and Egypt a lot. So let's thing was to get rid of conflict, but a conflict zone has just created with Iraq declaring war on Kuwait. Because Kuwait took all of this, which Iraq says is unright and is an attack on Iraqi sovereignty. And that the Iraqi people are threatened by this and such on. You know, the users come up with, oops, sorry. Oh wait, now I'm a Canadian. But after the fall of Kuwait, many powers in the region declare war, including Saudi Arabia, who gets war declared on by Iran. And India and Pakistan, stop pretending you're at war. We both know you're not. In India, your borders are getting weird. Sorry. Oh wait, why am I saying sorry so much? You know, maybe something's wrong. But Iraq saw this coming, so they pushed troops into this region along Bahrain's coast. But the only problem is that the real reason behind this invasion is to push Iraq out of this region and Iran, which is shocking that Iraq's in a lot of trouble for what they did. And yeah, people aren't happy about this. And Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and Iran come to a peace agreement being created by Somalia and Ethiopia and India. Team up to try and have a conference, which they end up getting Somalia to points north, including their good old friend Indonesia, who, look, yeah, that's mainland, I guess. East Timor doesn't look good. But we will do this conference so every nation gets a conference being held between India, Australia, and Indonesia over these lands. The dispute really isn't involving most of these nations. India's fine. For the most part, they're fine. But Australia's fine until they run into some troubles with Indonesia. Indonesia claims border should go like this. Australia claims it should go like this, which may or may not spark some problems. And as you can see, this is a big empire. Guess you didn't need to know that, but yeah. Why is Indonesia getting so much? That's probably there. Oh yeah, it is theirs. But yeah. The war being declared by Indonesia. Don't need to worry about their islands, because let's just pretend they're not there. And guess what? Everybody's on the red team. Oh wait, I just did something wrong. But yeah. Oh yeah. And yeah. Mistakes do happen, I guess. Maybe I shouldn't be getting frustrated, but I am. So yeah. The problem is, it's not that this war wouldn't have happened. But the problem really was about this war is this small territory. Timor is forced onto the red team, but isn't on the red team. Let's just say that. And so, the Indonesians rapidly expand into this newly claimed land. But Australia comes with a counter-offensive. Meaning this probably is going to have a second negotiations. Basically, Australia marches into this disputed territory, takes it back over, and they manage to quickly move up into some of Indonesia's new territories. Which, once they get to here, Indonesia agrees to a peace conference. It's between a lot of nations. Look at India, just chilling. Painfully long. So let's see what happens here in the conference and some of their territories they newly acquire. By the looks of this, you want to know what I would say is inhospitable. At this rate, if it's that big, this possibly could be inhospitable. This area, you know why? Because it would be so deep and yeah. That'd be assuming a lot, but let's just say this. Because I'd say that area would cool based on being near water, and I would say quickly after. I'd say this is impossible, guys, so yeah. Good thing it doesn't happen. You know where the water probably would go? Where's a low area of the world? Let's just think of that for a minute. Probably wouldn't be Africa because it's the tallest continent. But I'd say the water could easily just move here. Let's just say, yep. The water's back. I mean, the water has to go somewhere. Wouldn't you guys agree? That's pretty much all for today's video. Please like and subscribe. Wild Mapper out. Bye, guys. Get 150 more subscribers so you can hit our goal. That's all for today's video. Wild Mapper out.